Hello everyone, welcome to NintenDormant, the podcast where we discuss Nintendo games that have been left on the shelf. I'm your host George Banks, and joining me this week, we are joined by Liam Robertson. Liam, hello.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for being here. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm not too bad, and you are currently sat next to a very cool-looking Josh Goldie. Josh, hello.
Hello, I'm an agent today.
Yes.
It's on brand. This is
I gather.
fitting in.
I mean, not very agent. We're both wearing Super Mario t-shirts, which isn't really like sort of cool,
We're
badass
Nintendo
agents.
agents. You
Nintendo
know?
agents. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Coming in, sticking like SNESs into people's house. Play some of that. It's the best one. So, yes, Liam, your first time on the show. Thank you very much for being with us. You and Josh, you have some history. You know, how do you guys know each other?
Oh, God.
Over many years going back. I think I was probably introduced to you by Push, wasn't it? Who used to
Almost certainly.
who used to run Source Gaming that he's involved with, and then I know we talked occasionally on and off. And
when you meet someone else from the UK, you just got to sort of latch on a bit.
A Nintendo person that lives
Become
here.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we did a video together like a month or two ago when the Switch came out, Switch 2 that is, talking about game chat and all that sort of thing. And yeah, I guess I'm here now with you guys talking about this.
Well, speaking of game chat, so I had my first foray into that with Josh the other day to play Dragon Drive. Have you tried it out for yourself yet?
Yeah, I have. I've actually got the final game, but I've not played it yet. I did play it at an event, and I played the open beta demo thing they did a little bit. You know, I quite like it. I think the controls are a little bit cumbersome, maybe take a little bit getting used to, but I quite like it. You know, I think I have an appreciation for it, but whether there's longevity to it, that remains to be seen. If there's progression, I want to see that. I've yet to see that, I guess.
Well, Nintendo agent Josh, what was your experience in that regard?
Like, I need to preface this by saying, like, I'm not massive into multiplayer online specific games as is. So we played that hour of Dragon Drive and did the video, and I don't feel any motivation to go back and play it anymore.
No, it's very.
It's not
small.
like I didn't have fun playing it. Like, it's a very novel control system. It's definitely a very unique game, but doesn't, there's nothing really there to pull me in to it. So there's nothing really there. Not like in the same way like Splatoon did, where I was actually willing to play that online for quite a bit.
I also think as well that we played together for an hour, and we actually played together, I think, twice at a push. So they still haven't quite nailed the, playing with your mates part of that. And it was fine using game chat and sort of talking, but you're going, well, what's going on in your game? Because this is happening in mine, and not actually really getting to experience any of that together.
And one of the games we were in together, I got kicked out.
Oh, yeah.
Before we finished.
That's
so
good.
Didn't even get to see the results.
Bye then. Bye. I'm just by myself now with a bot. Cool. I haven't quite nailed that, but I'm sure they'll get there one day, Nintendo. And the two of you, the one thing I love, you both do really deep dives on Nintendo things. The videos you put out, sort of looking at the history of games or series, things like that. Very cool things to watch. Are you working on anything sort of exciting that you're happy to share at the moment? Or, I mean, Josh, I've just watched your Wart video, which is exquisite. I mean, we love Wart here. He's on our logo. What are you guys working on at the moment?
I'm going to take the sunglasses off now. I don't want to have them on the whole time.
It's not going to happen.
So I'm trying to do a few other Mario stuff before the anniversary hits in September.
Ooh, yeah.
So I've got one big design video that looks at like the history of Peach, Daisy, and Rosalina and their like designs from like the creator's point of view. Like, what was Miyamoto thinking when he designed Peach? Like, why is she pink? Why is she blonde? Why is her original NES sprite different colors?
Yeah. Orange hair.
Yeah. So I've got a video about that coming up, but with Gamescom this week, I've not actually had a chance to finish it. So I've been speed running a different Mario video that's more about really obscure villains from the series, just kind of following on from what.
I can tell you
even
one.
more obscure.
I know that there's one that exists only in Mario Clash, and I can't remember what it's called. Do you have this one? It's possibly a snake type thing.
No, I don't actually have this one. Oh,
it's a hot tip. I'm pretty sure there's one. John's still got my Virtual Boy. Otherwise, I would whip it out right now, and I would verify that for you. It wouldn't be very exciting to watch with just my face in a big red piece of plastic.
I think I found it now.
Yeah. How about you, Liam? Are you sort of any deep dives that you're working on at the moment?
Yes, I'm quite far along with a video on a cancelled Xbox game. But it's almost
Is it a recent
certainly past 10-ish years, I would say, something like that. But it's definitely not the one you're thinking of. It's a bit obscure. It was something that I think was shown once and then never again.
It's so weird. I always think if you get to the point where you're showing it, then surely, you want to be pushing. Well, I say that. Then the Metro Prime 4 logo was an absolute catastrophe. So,
at least that one's coming out.
That is
Xbox
true.
Has a bad habit of showing games and then never taking them to release.
Yeah, I know. There's so many games by the wayside. So many games that we'll never get to experience. But that's okay because we are going to play another little game right now. Yes, it's time for the NintenDormant Quickfire quiz. 2 rounds, fastest finger first, followed by play or pass for double points. And as always, we will let our guests choose their buzzers. Now, Liam, as it's your debut, I will let you pick first. Please tell us, what buzzer will you be gracing the quiz with today?
Can you make it so that when I press it, it sounds like Commander Khan saying go?
Yep, and you've done the classic thing of answering one of my questions before I've asked it. So cool, I'll do that. That's no problem. I knew I could just feel it coming. I could feel it coming, but that's fine. Yes, I can get Commander Khan saying
sorry.
Go. I should have chosen
a non-elite agent thing.
This happens every other week, so it's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. I didn't
be picking harder questions.
I know Josh hosted an episode a couple of weeks back, and he had like multiple backup questions ready. Am I that prepared? No, but I'm going to make something up, and it's going to be absolutely fine. So yes, Commander Khan saying go. Good choice. Josh, what will you brace us with today? Brace us with? What will you grace us with today? I mean, brace yourself. Yeah, that's fine. But what are you going to pick for us?
In the Japanese cheerleading that Ouendan is based on, I want to say there's a chant that's like Osu, something like that. So I want that sound.
Love it.
And if you can't find whatever sound I think I'm referencing, you can just use me saying that.
Thank you very much. That's always my backup.
In the menus, I think when you click on one of the modes, it goes os like that. I think that's what you mean.
There we go.
Oh man, you guys you're gonna demolish this quiz because you're talking about the sound effects from sub menus, so it's really gonna be fastest finger first. Okay, brace yourselves. All right, question 1. So, Elite Beat Agents is loosely a Western reimagining of what game? Oh, it's Josh. He's in there.
It's Ouendan, as I say it. Ouendan?
Yes, I mean, is that the full title? I don't know if that's the full title.
Osu Tatakae Ouendan.
Yeah, he's got it. To be honest, I can't pronounce it better than that, so I'm going to give it to you. I mean, Liam might nitpick that. I've got Osu Tatakae Ouendan.
It's Os Tatakae Ouendan.
Oh God!
Os Tatakae Ouendan.
I'm going to have to say that name so much in this podcast, and I am not prepared for it.
well, good luck pronouncing the title of the sequel.
Yeah, I know. I'm in trouble. I know. Well done, Josh. Yes. One more time for me, Liam, please. What is it?
Os Tatakae Ouendan.
Os Tatakae Ouendan.
It's pretty good.
Just remember that exactly.
I'm literally writing down. I'm going to tell you how I spell it. OSTA Tatakae TOOKIOENDON. I'm going to nail it. When we get to it. Don't worry about it. Right. Question 2. Here we go. So the question was, you take on the role of 3 agents, but what is the name of their commander? We know that it's Commander Khan. I'm not doing fastest fingerverse for that. Instead, I'm going to pivot to this question. Are you guys ready? The game features 3 main agents that you can take charge of, but they also have 2 backup dancers. Can you name one of them?
That's a difficult question.
See, now I've made it too hard for question 2, but that's fine. That's fine.
Go!
All Liam's buzzed. He's going for it.
Is one called Derek?
Yes! Oh my god.
Damn.
Yes, Agent Derek and Agent Morris. I know nothing else about them. They're just there.
I did not know that.
I feel like maybe one of them has an afro, a big red afro. That's not one. Or is that one of the main ones?
Morris is the one with the afro.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
Right.
So yes, there are two backup dancers there. Agent Derek, Agent Morris. Not the most memorable, if I'm being honest, but yes, there they are. So 1 point to Liam. Well done. Question 3. Fingers on buzzers, please. Here we go. Depending on the difficulty setting, the player takes charge of one of 3 agents: Agent Spin for breezing, which is easy; J for cruising, medium; and Chieftain for sweating, which is the hard mode. But who do you take charge of for expert difficulty?
Go!
It's Commander Khan.
Well,
hang on. It's the Elite Beat Divas, but
yes.
You can, once you complete that, then you get Commander Khan as the person in charge of them.
I didn't know that because I have not played the game that far through. But yes, I was looking for the Elite Beat Divas. You got Star, Missy, and Fox. I think you take charge of Star, if I'm right. Well done, Liam. 2 points.
But when Dans have cheerleaders, you're not the girl cheerleaders as their expert mode as well. So I think it's continuing on from that. Ouendan 2 has like the rival school as well.
See,
cheerleaders.
I never played it, so I mean I've sort of gone back into it for this podcast, and it's making me really want to play its kind of forebear. But yeah, not experienced it yet. So we'll hear more about that when we get into the pitch rush. I'll be interested to hear your experience with that. Question 4, fingers and buzzers. Here we go. So, Elite Beat Agents does have a primary antagonist in the shape of an alien race that hates music. Name that race.
Go!
Romulans.
Oh, Christ. I didn't even... so confident that he buzzed first and didn't even wait. Yes, Liam smashes in there with the Romulans. The rhombus-shaped aliens, the Romulans, who I think maybe also Romulans from Star Trek, right? It must be. It's got to be a reference to that, surely.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. Rhombus-shaped aliens, the Romulans, they hate music, and they are your enemy in the game. Question 5, here we go. The game sees you perform certain actions in time to the music with 3 varying input styles. Can you describe those inputs?
Go!
Liam again.
Spinners, the ones that you tap, and the ones that you drag. Is that acceptable?
Absolutely nailed it. That is absolutely acceptable. They've probably got technical terms, but yes, ones that you tap, ones we sort of drag a ball along.
Drag and spin, yeah.
Tap, drag and spin. Very simple sort of core gameplay, but very satisfying and used really well throughout the track. So yes, tap, spin and drag. And that means after round 1, Liam is on 4 points and Josh, you're on 1.
I expected this.
For real. Unfamiliar territory for you, Josh. I must admit as well, I think quite a large portion of these questions might have come from Liam's Did You Know Gaming video, so he might have a slight
little advantage.
How old was that video at this point, Liam? Like it's a good few years old, right? I was hoping maybe some of the knowledge has kind of slipped away.
I think I did that in about 2020 or 2021 or maybe 2019. I'm not sure.
Okay, I feel less bad then. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, Liam, that means for round 2, this is play or pass. So, I ask you a question. If you know the answer, you get yourself 2 points. If you're not sure, you can pass it to Josh. If he gets it right, he bags those 2 points. But if he gets it wrong, you still get a point for yourself. So, you can play or pass. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Here we go. So your question, Liam. During its transition into a westernized format, Elite Beat Agents had a few working titles, but which of these is the real one? Is it A, Groove Riders? Is it B, Men in Beats? Or is it C, Disco Rangers?
It's Disco Rangers.
Oh, yeah, it's Disco Rangers. That was one from the video, I must admit. Yes.
I say I didn't know that, although Men in Beats is a...
I like Men in
choice
Beats.
option.
Like, ridiculous. It was never going to be called Men in Beats, but they're basically Men in Black for dancing. So, yeah, I quite like Men in Beats. I just wanted to put it in there. Lovely stuff. That takes you up to 6 points, Liam. Oh, he's nearly out of sight. Josh, this is your question. Are you ready?
All right. No, but we'll do it anyway.
Right. One of the first glimpses we got of the game was set to a song that didn't make the final release. But what is the name of that song? Is it A, Holding Out for a Hero? Is it B, Living La Vida Loca? Or is it C, Disco Inferno? Liam's face is screaming that he knows the answer. I don't know if he's even trying.
I feel like I have to go for it, though, right?
You've got a 1 in 3 chance. You've got a 33% chance. Yeah.
Is it Disco Inferno? No.
It's not, Liam.
It's Livin' La Vida Loca.
It's Living La Vida Loca. You get the 2 points anyway.
For some reason, I thought that was in the game. I knew Hoping Out for a Hero was in the game. I remember that one.
Yeah, there's something about... I think Living La Vida Loca, right, it was used, and then if you layer it over the top, you can see that it's basically the exact same rhythm, but it's a different song.
Well, what happened was, when it was first shown, it was actually the first song prototype for Elite Beat Agents.
Right.
Okay.
And when they first showed it to the public, supposedly they showed a video of that at E3. But when that video was shown to the public, you can't hear the song.
Right.
Which is straight. There's no public footage of Livin' La Vida Loca, the song in the game. Right. But the beat map, I think, is Livin' La Vida Loca. And so, yeah, in this footage they showed in just a montage of DS games, that was the song that was being played. But you couldn't hear it. I've heard attendees could hear the song weirdly, but for whatever reason, maybe that was a licensing thing. I don't know, but ultimately, for whatever reason, they couldn't get the song from Ricky Martin. I don't know if this is going to ruin another question, but in the final game, it's replaced by Makes No Difference. It was going to be that. No, it's
fine. Okay. Yes. Good.
It was going to be, that scenario about the movie director. That's the one it would have occupied. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would have... I don't know if Ricky Martin's done them dirty or the other way around, but I feel it's a shame. I feel like Living La Vida Loca would have been a banging track to have in that game. There we go.
Yeah.
Right, Liam, it is 8 points to 1, so you are out of sight. But let's see how much we can crush the quiz. I'm going to...
Cry.
Yeah, I'm going to... I might swap the questions as well, but I'm going to give you this one. Here we go. Right. So the game... You can still pass it, obviously, to Josh, but it's your question, so here we go. The game features cover tracks of contemporary music, but can you name at least 6 artists who were covered from Elite Beat Agents only? So not from the Japanese releases. Can you name 6 artists that feature in the game?
Sum 41.
Yep.
Hoopastank, is that what it's called?
Yep, Hoopastank, yep.
And Rolling Stones, I think.
Yes, Rolling Stones are in there, yes.
Yeah. Is that 3?
You need another 3.
Not 6.
Oh, I need 6.
You said 6.
Jesus.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a biggie.
Village People.
Yes, the Village People are there.
We might be here a while. Avril Lavigne. Avril Lavigne is another one.
Yep, one more.
One more. Let me think. Good Charlotte.
Oh, I mean, Josh, come on. Give it up. Yeah, that's incredible. Yes.
It's good.
So the full list I've got here, we've got Stereogram, Sum 41, Avril Lavigne, Queen, Stray Cats, Deep Purple, Village People, Earth, Wind and Fire, Jamiroquai, Madonna, Ashley Simpson, Chicago, David Bowie, Good Charlotte, Hoobastank, Rolling Stones, Cher, Jackson 5, and Destiny's Child.
Yeah. That was me attempting to bow, by the way. I wasn't doing a dab.
You weren't doing a dab, are you sure?
Yeah.
I saw it out the corner of my eye because I was reading a list. It looked dangerously dab-like. Are we 100% sure about this? It's on camera. I can go back.
I would own up to it if it was, but
Right,
go on.
Thank God. Okay. So, Josh, that makes it 10 points to 1. We can do this. We can.
I don't think we can.
we can get
I don't think there's any chance. But I can at least
nearly
attempt.
nearly a third of the points. This is good. This will be better. Okay. The agents in the game are tasked with keeping the beats to encourage their charges to achieve their goals. But can you describe the first scenario of the game?
Oh, first scenario.
First scenario. Cast your mind back. How many years has it been since you've played the game?
A long time. it's not, the first one's not one of the ones I remember that much, so I might have to pass.
The first one, I would
honest.
say the first one is one of the more normal ones.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
That doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
I mean, again, Liam's just sat there like especially because you even, I think, a couple of minutes ago were telling me about one of the scenarios later on in the game. So definitely there. You can.
I remember later scenarios. I remember the film one. I remember the Christmas one. Everyone remembers the Christmas one.
Yes,
yeah,
I like the.
yeah.
Is it? It's not Van Gogh. Is it the one we go back in time? Right? Oh, it's Da Vinci. That's Da
Vinci.
Are you going to pass it, Josh?
I'm going to have to because I can't think for the life of me
what
happens.
Go on, Liam. Tell us.
It's the walkie-talkie man stage where it's about a girl who is a babysitter and she's having a high school football player over, and she's trying to make him fall in love with her or something. And yeah.
And the kids keep sort of giving you jip.
Yes, yeah. The kids are terrorizing you while you're attempting to babysit them. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I should have written down what the song was. I can't believe I didn't write down the song for it. But yes, sort of sets the tone very well for the whole game, and sort of how mad is. She's there saying, "So, do you think that maybe we could?" And it's just like, "Baby," and having to sort it all out. So yes, a great. For me, a very memorable opening chapter. Clearly not for Josh, but Liam, you have won this week's quiz. 12 points to 1. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
I deserve victory.
I fully anticipated this.
I feel a little bad almost.
Oh no! Don't worry. Josh normally absolutely dominates in the quiz with anybody he's taking on. So I think he beat John at Trauma Centre despite never playing the game. So you're in good company. It's absolutely fine. So fair enough. You won the quiz. Well done, and that means you will be going first as we head into the main event. So yes, the game we are talking about this week is the Elite Beat Agents. A quick history lesson for those who don't know. Elite Beat Agents is a DS rhythm game developed by Innes and released in 2006 or 2007 based on your region. A Western reimagining of the 2005 Japan exclusive Tatakae Ouendan. Gameplay sees you take on the role of government agents set to cheer people on through rhythmic dancing to overcome obstacles in their lives. With stories laid out through stylish and humorous comic strip cutscenes and easy to pick up but difficult to master gameplay set to contemporary music, Elite Beat Agents was something of a cult classic, with its Japanese forebear even seeing a sequel in 2007 titled
Moriro Niket's Rhythm Damashi Tatakae Ouendan 2.
There's no way I would have been able to do that. Thank you. Sadly for us, though, the game was a one and done and is locked to the system, but the agents have popped up here and there and remain firm favourites of those that knew them. So yes, a very quick history of the Elite Beat Agents. Sort of started life as an import title, right? It was kind of an import hit from the time when you could do that and you can get those games for the DS. Liam, was that your first experience with the game? Did you import... I've got to get my notes out to say it. Did you import Tatakae Ouendan? I'm just going to say Ouendan. Did you import Ouendan before you played Elite Beat Agents? What was your experience with that?
I didn't actually. I think I played EBA first. So, yeah, I think that experience is different from quite a lot of people. But I just remember hearing EBA reviewed well back in the day. And then when it came out, I bought it on the DS. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Where's the sequel? Never came. And so I looked into it, found the two Japanese exclusive games and went back and played those.
Yeah, nice. How about you, Josh? Did you import Ouendan, or is it just was it some Elite Beat Agents for you to start with too?
So I'm not entirely sure when I first got into Elite Beat Agents. I know I definitely had it when I was growing up, but my copy of it is definitely from CX because it has a CX sticker over the top
classic.
of it.
Yeah.
So it was secondhand. So I'm like a lot of games. It's possibly from Super Smash Brothers because I know the Elite Beat Agents and the Ouendan trio had trophies in Super Smash Brothers Brawl. So it was either from that, or I just saw it in official Nintendo magazine and saw it reviewed well, and then just decided to pick it up.
Yeah,
from CX.
Yeah,
but I don't. I definitely did it before the 3DS came out, so I definitely had it when I was growing up. But Lord knows the motivation in my mind for it. But I always did want to get the Ouendan games, and when I was in Japan, I tried finding them, and I managed to find the second one.
Yeah.
And I own that. But the first one, the only places I could find it when it was very hard to find, were all quite expensive. And while a lot of DS games have recently gotten a bit cheap, allowing me to buy stuff like the third Chibi Robo game and the Fire Emblem DS game that was exclusive over there, I've not been able to find another copy of Ouendan 1. So that one I'm still on the hunt for.
I'm guessing that is because they didn't originally imagine that it was going to take off around the world and have this Western following as well. You know, that was something that took them totally by surprise. And I'm guessing that Nintendo prepared for it more the second time around. They printed more copies, and that's why there are far fewer of the first one.
I think once you've got like a series and you've got 2 titles under your belt, effectively, even if one of them even if both of them are exclusive to specific regions, I think you sort of try and print off more copies to you're expecting to have a bigger audience the second time around.
Yeah, you know what impact to expect, right? As opposed to sort of taking that risk. So I played Elite Beat Agents when I was younger. I didn't really I wasn't savvy about import games back then. So it's sort of something that completely slipped under the radar for me. I wasn't even aware actually of the Ouendan games until doing sort of research for this video. You guys have presumably played them both now. You know, what's the kind of are they? Would you say they're kind of not identical? Obviously, it's not a reskin, or it's more of a sort of reimagining. But what's the kind of key differences, Liam, between the 2 titles for you?
Well, each one sort of iterates on the other. Like Ouendan is obviously the first form of it. EBA iterates on that, and then Ouendan 2 iterates on Elite Beat Agents. And each one makes incremental improvements and changes and adds things like multiplayer features and stuff like that. I think Ouendan 2 added things like you could save as many replays as you want. And I think there were previously limits to that in the other games. There's a bunch of things that each game added, such as ghosts, replay data that could be shared between friends and all sorts of things like that. Quite small features. Also, Ouendan 2 added this difficulty mode, which is goddamn so hard. I don't know how anyone plays it. I can beat these games on the hardest difficulty easy, but it added this mode where it basically makes the rhythm dial things disappear, so you don't know what the timing is.
Oh no, that's nasty.
You just have to go by beat.
yeah. I don't remember what it's called, but I know someone who helped create that mode, and I remember saying to him like, "Oh, it was you made that, did you?
you sick sadist! What have you done?"
Yeah.
How about you, Josh? Then, so what's like the kind of main differences for you between the 3 titles? I should say.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the basic one would be the music, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
It's it's funny, the Elite Beat Agent soundtrack, because it's all covers of real songs that they license, and all songs I would have heard of before, like David Bowie and Queen and Sum 41, etc. And then I'm assuming Ouendan 2 is that, but for J-pop and J-rock and stuff of the
excellent
2000s, mid 2000s and earlier. So it's in a similar way to Donkey Konga, which has the same feel, where the English version of it is all just like royalty-free songs, and then pop songs, and then the Japanese one is like anime tracks and
I feel like it's like
J-rock.
hot jazz in DK, isn't there? There's like a bit of Dave Brubeck stuff like that. It's hilarious.
I think that sort of touches upon one of the fundamental differences between EBA and Ouendan. Ouendan's sort of meant to be hot-blooded and intense, and that's why the songs are a little heavier. They're like mostly rock songs with guitars and stuff like that. Whereas EBA, it's like fun and chill and pop. It's pop music, right? It's YMCA and skater girls, a skater boy. I mean, stuff like that, right? And that's because the EBA, the agents, are meant to be cool and laid back. The Ouendan are fiery men. They yell, It's hot-blooded souls, that type of thing.
Hot-blooded, passionate male cheerleading.
Yes, excellent.
Japan has for it.
I mean, I've got a
Yankee feel.
It's incredible. I've got jotted down a sort of loose translation for each game. So, I mean, you guys will be able to tell me better. But, I've got here that the sequel is essentially burn, hot-blooded rhythm, spirit. And then the original is basically push, fight, cheering squad. So it's like, push, fight, burn.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, which is
that kind of cheering, which is obviously very different because in the West, I feel like most cheerleading is it's a very girl-orientated thing that you see in America.
Yeah,
which is different in Japan. That's why it's like the cheerleading group you get in Ouendan are very American. I feel.
Yeah.
The girl cheerleaders compared to the guys.
Yes, and that's that thing, isn't it? It's like for me, having not experienced the Japanese titles, it's quite sort of striking the difference in characters and actually the sort of stories that it's telling. Right, so the sort of vague story, and again, please jump in if this is incorrect, but the vague story of Elite Beat agents is essentially you are just government agents who are sent to dance to cheer people along to achieve their objectives, and it's kind of it's a very offbeat sort of way of telling the story, right? The comic strips it sets up what's going to happen for the scenario, and then somebody basically goes help, and the elite agents are sent out to help those people. And Ouendan is sort of, I mean, is it the same kind of thing? I don't speak Japanese, so I've not been able to delve into it too much, but does it have that same sort of quirky style, or in terms of storytelling, what are the differences you guys take away from that?
I would say it's pretty similar, really. I guess I'm trying to think of if there is a key difference. It's just that the style of it again is like slightly different. The EBA are sort of a bit more affable. The characters seem to enjoy their presence, whereas the Ouendan are like really intense dudes, like just pushing you over the finish line. They're like yelling at you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's kind of how I interpret it.
Kind of like, I suppose, a kind of something you might equate it to over here is like a personal trainer, right? Somebody sort of barking at you to like push yourself, get the job done. That more that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Less of a fun kind of chill vibe and more get it done sort of thing. All right, no, fair enough. So we've touched the differences there. It's kind of very similar iterative gameplay for each release. I would say the characters are kind of built round for the markets that they're released into, right? You've got the Ouendan as a sort of Japanese known quantity, and you mentioned in your gaming video for it, Liam, about that they took Men in Black as a sort of inspiration, right? That kind of like cool government agent is a big influence on them. The game was released as part of the Touch Generations series of games for the Nintendo DS. I want to just sort of segue onto that quickly because the Touch Generations sort of umbrella had some absolute bangers. I'm just going to quickly go through the list here that we've got. So we've got Big Brain Academy, Brain Age, Train Your Brain, Clubhouse Games, Picross DS, Flash Focus, Vision Training. That wasn't a classic, that one. Elite Beat Agents, Planet Puzzle League, Cooking Guide, Can't Decide What to Eat. Maybe not all bangers. Maybe I've gone into this a bit too hard.
Hey, now that one's a solid. The music in that cookbook, incredible.
Okay, maths training, but then we've got like Art Academy, Picross 3D, and then it gets into things like Wii Sports and Wii Play and Endless Ocean, that kind of stuff. I can't really sort of think of an equivalent kind of umbrella. You've got Nintendo Selects, obviously, which I wish they would still do. They don't do it anymore. They take the sort of classic games and discount them, basically.
Yeah.
But for me, Touch Generations, there was something quite special about that umbrella of games. Are there any, Josh, that you have a sort of particular fondness for, or is that something that sticks out in your mind from that period of gaming?
I mean, Touch Generations is a slightly odd label because it's what counts as a Touch Generation game is different depending on what region you're in. Like Art Academy, for example, isn't a Touch Generation game in Japan.
Right.
I think Elite Beat Agents only counts as one in North America, not
that's
in
mad, yeah.
PAL and Europe.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all over the place what is actually a Touch Generations title and what isn't a Touch Generations title. But I guess, like, for me, Clubhouse Games is the go-to for that. Like, that one's one of those universal ones. Like, again, like Hotel Dusk is obviously great, and that's also considered a Touch Generation title, but only in North America.
Right. Yeah, it is a bit muddled. You know, obviously Brain Age is the one that, I mean, it almost feels like it's the same as Tetris with the Game Boy, right? It's like, if you own a DS, you own a copy of Brain Train. I think I've got about 4 in a tub behind me, because I've just sort of got them through osmosis somehow when I've acquired DSs. How about you, Liam? Is it sort of, do you remember the kind of... I remember the Touch Generations with the real fondness, like seeing that little logo and being like, oh, I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, it definitely seemed to emphasize games that were doing something interesting with the touchscreen and the technology and everything. Yeah, I think I was the same. I remember seeing that logo and thinking, okay, this is going to be something interesting and unique. And, you know, from Nintendo, so usually pretty good quality. Yeah, I remember Nintendogs, you know, that was another one, I think.
That's a Touch Generations,
And that was peak, you know, that was doing really interesting experimental things with technology. Yeah, that's one that stands out to me. But Clubhouse Games, that is a good shout. I played that a lot.
Yeah.
Clubhouse Games,
I think one game I actually think sticks in my mind a lot because I always saw it, but I didn't buy it until very, very late, was that Master of Illusion game, which was just it's like a DS game that teaches you how to make magic. I think in Europe it was called Magic Made Fun.
I've got absolutely no memory of this at all.
Yeah, so when it came out, if you got it when it came out and launched, it came bundled with a deck of cards.
What?
And would teach you how to do card tricks and magic tricks and stuff like that.
Oh my god!
And then it had a DSiWare version released, which was just some of the magic tricks, and you could just download it on DSi and learn a handful of specific ones. The main thing it's probably known for nowadays is it's randomly got Barbara the Bat from
it does.
Jam with the Band in it.
I'm looking at her right now. What is going on?
She's just randomly in the game for some reason, so I guess it was made by the same team.
Did you own this? So you owned this game?
So I own it now, but growing up, I'd see it all the time in CX for like £2.
What?
And I'd always be like, what is this game?
There's a literal deck of cards. What
like, what's the point in having this? This wasn't something that appealed to me, but then I got to a point where I was like, I'm going to buy all of the really random,
really obscure,
small DS Touch Generation games, like 100 classic books and crosswords and stuff like that. And that was like the first one I picked up. And I was like, oh, it's actually not bad. It's literally just teaches you magic tricks. That's kind
awesome.
Of neat.
That's very cool. I feel like I've got in the back of my head maybe a Touch Generations game, Project Rub.
Yes,
but I don't know if that was.
Yes, I don't know if it's Touch Generation, but it's.
I always felt like it was probably quite dirty, but I think I owned it. I think I've got it somewhere here, but I never really knew what it did. What was Project?
It's a bunch of mini games. Bunch of mini games on the touchscreen.
But that's it.
I'd call it Sega's version of WarioWare almost.
That sounds pretty good.
They're not quite as micro as the WarioWare ones are, but it is just like a set of mini games back to back that all use the touchscreen for something.
All right.
It's great.
I'll dig it out.
They've got a sequel called The Rub Rabbits.
That sounds even dirtier. What? Like, okay, that's fine.
It knows what it's doing. I mean, what's the American title? Like XY:XX. Oh, I think that's just it.
I think it's just a woman in a bikini on the front, right?
Yes.
Like you don't even see a face either. It's literally just a silhouette.
In that generation, I remember they kind of leaned into the connotations of that quite a lot in the advertising. Like there was a slogan that was something like it's good to touch or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it was basically like "touch me" it's kind of like the sort of the massive message. I mean, I suppose that kind of ties back into Elite Beat Agents, right? You've got this kind of I think really for a game like that, the DS was the perfect medium for it, because it's you have the physical input, Guitar Hero, all that kind of stuff. You have these huge instruments. There's obviously Guitar Hero for the DS with the weird little buttons that you plugged into the cartridge slot. But yeah, I think for a rhythm game, you couldn't really get better than the DS without having to get a peripheral to add on to it. Really, I think that's kind of a perfect blend. I can't really think of any other touch rhythm games, were there? Elite Beat Agents is the only one really springing to mind.
I think there were
on the DS?
attempts to clone
Right.
EBA. I can't remember what they were called, but there were definitely music games that sort of dabbled in that type of thing. And
Yeah, I think the most popular one, which it wasn't on the DS, it was on PC, was Osu, which is just literally just Osu, which is just the gameplay of Elite Beat Agents, but on PC, and people could put their own custom songs.
Nice.
I've just remembered one actually, and this is really weird that I know this, but there was an Alvin and the Chipmunks video game, and I think it had like very similar gameplay to Elite Beat Agents.
Oh, God, that's absolutely. Are we talking like?
Are
we talking
a brand to do it?
Yeah, are we talking real Alvin and the Chipmunks? Or are we talking like live action film?
It's got to be the live action film.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was a tie-in game to the movie.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah.
Did it have them singing? Did it have their chipmunks? Have you played this game?
I haven't played this, but I remember I had to get some footage of it from somewhere because I did a video. The company that published it was very short-lived. It was a publisher that was active for less than a year, and it was one of the few games they released. Was that? Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Incredible.
they could be proud of their legacy. I'm sure that was a solid title. Yeah. All right. So I think really Elite Beat Agents sort of came at a period of time where it was, the perfect kind of machine for that type of game. I think its storytelling is brilliant. You'd also have sort of multiple endings depending on how well you do through those levels as well. The comic strip was really engaging. So all really great aspects, and I think possibly quite kind of difficult to replicate now. We did Trauma Center a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about the sort of difficulties of going from a sort of physical touchscreen to then going to a wand. You just don't have that accuracy. So it has been something, as we've been gearing up for this episode, that I've been sort of turning over in my brain. How do you sort of translate that into a modern title? And luckily, we're going to find out right now, because Liam, you won the quiz, which means you are now the president of Nintendo. But we are the board, and we demand that you bring back Elite Beat Agents and you make it a success. So please, will you tell us, how do you plan to do it?
I mean, that would be my first move if that really happened. I think would be something like that. But anyway,
genuine, like,
don't need the board to tell him.
Way ahead of you guys. You don't need to tell me. I'll do it. I think it is something that's quite hard to bring back, because I think a big part of what's so satisfying about those games is the concussive nature of tapping on the touchscreen of the DS, which was not capacitive, whatever type of touchscreen the DS had, resistive or whatever it was. Anyway, the DS and 3DS had a specific type of touchscreen that was very good for styluses. You can't get a stylus that works with the Switch and Switch 2. I have one. I've used it for like Mario Maker 2 and stuff. So you could offer that. That is a possibility. Another thing which you could do, and I feel like this would have to be included if you were to bring EBA back, is mouse controls, which is a thing on the Switch 2. And later, as Josh mentioned, fans made a game called Osu, or Os, however you want to say it. I think most people do call it Osu. And that, many people play, I think most people play that with a mouse on their PCs. So there is a built-in fan base out there who probably have no idea about Ouendan or Elite Beat Agents for that matter, and they play Osu on their computers using a mouse. And so that, I think, is the direction you could go in, is using the mouse controls of on the Joy-Con 2 on the Switch 2. I think that could work pretty well. So I think that definitely has to be in there. I still do think you've got to offer the touch controls as well, because that is what it was designed to be like. And I'm there's no way if Kiichi Yano, the director of these games, was doing another one that he wouldn't include that, because that's where this concept came from. Like, he saw the DS and he's like, yes, this will work on there. He saw the touchscreen, and that was the whole, impetus for the inspiration. So yeah, I would go with a combination of those options. I don't want to bother with sticks and buttons or anything like that, but touchscreen for portable play, mouse controls for on the TV. You've got to have both. And I would, we were talking before about the differences between Ouendan and EBA. And I think one of the things that a lot of people didn't respond well to when it comes to EBA is that the music is very pop focused and it's kind of light. And I actually don't mind that, because it's a different tone of game. And Ouendan, again, we've talked about like the characters are much more intense. There's a certain vibe they were trying to have in each game. But I think it would be a good idea to try to lean more close to Ouendan with the soundtrack and like do more rock songs, because it's not like EBA didn't have rock songs. It did. It did have a handful of them, especially like, you've got, Rolling Stones towards the end, the Hooperstang song, and you've got, what's it called? Status Quo's in there as well. There's a handful of songs that are kind of hard rock. And so I would lean a little more into that with the song selection. I know in EBA they originally meant to have Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. Yeah. That was something that I don't know if that was something they were definitely going to do, but they looked into it and it didn't go anywhere. And I've spoken to people who worked on that game, and I remember Journey was another song that was kind of discussed, but I don't think that went anywhere. A song by Journey, I don't remember what it's called. The one everyone knows by Journey.
What's the song? I'm thinking of Boston More Than a Feeling, but that's obviously not the right one. It's I'm going to Google it. Can anybody get it before I Google it?
It's in there somewhere.
Don't Stop Believing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. The Journey song. Yeah.
I think that's like the only song of theirs I know.
Yeah.
Don't rack my brain for it.
Yeah, so I'd lead more into those sort of well-known rock songs with mainstream appeal, stuff like, Welcome to the Jungle. And I'd also take a leaf out of Osu's book and lean into user-generated content, like let people make their own songs and create a suite for people to download of people's songs and beat maps and that type of thing, because I think that's a good way to have longevity. And also, there was multiplayer in these games, so bring that back and make it online. That's something that they never got to do. The DS did obviously have online play, but they never did that, and that would be a big thing to add, is online an online focus, as well as having the and also DLC. That's another thing they never got to explore, unfortunately, with this series. Is that was a big thing with Guitar Hero and Rock Band right after these games sort of had their heyday. Even on the Wii life. You could so that's what I would do is lean into post-launch content and that type of thing would be good.
All right, okay. So we've talked about, so you said it's more sort of Ouendan leaning, rock music, stylus or mouse inputs. Are we making this an Elite Beat Agent sequel, or is it an Ouendan sequel? Like, is it, what's the vision for the direction of the series?
I would just do it as, I don't think enough people played EBA to call it EBA 2. So I would just brand it as Elite Beat Agents : something, That's how I do is a reboot in the way that, like, kind of like what they did with Endless Ocean, right? When they brought that back, is a new vision for it that's modernized, but it's the same thing, but you don't need to have played the original one. You don't need to know that the aliens in the first one are called the Romulans, for instance, or something like that.
Are we getting the Romulans? Are they coming back? Are they going to be the primary antagonist still?
I think that makes sense. I mean, there is a to be continued at the end.
This is true.
And clearly true. There's something that was meant to happen there. So I think bringing some of that back, maybe with the implication that the first game has happened, but you don't need to have played it. It's not contingent on that.
Okay, like a soft sequel.
Yeah, soft reboot. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, Josh. Any questions from you?
Yeah. So are you allowed to make user-generated content and then share it online, and then other people can download it? They did something similar with the Jam with the Band games, and on that they had like an entire website built up, and where people could download user-generated content and stuff, and held competitions and stuff. They were like, "All right, we're having a competition of music in this style. Like, can you make music like this?" Obviously, we're not having a music maker in this, are we? So how are we doing the user-generated stuff? You can obviously do your own beats, but what's the music side of it?
Well, are we having a music creator?
Or are we having a music creator?
I think that's sort of what I was thinking. Yeah, some sort of sweet like Mario Paint, where you can compose your own songs, and that would be fun. I also kind of like the idea of there being some sort of shared experience element to it, like you have with Splatoon, you have like Splatfests.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever played Guitar Hero Live, but it had quite a cool feature called Guitar Hero TV, where everyone could play basically a music channel together live,
That's
cool.
So everyone was playing the same song, competing for the best scores and whatever. That would be a cool thing, a feature like that where people are playing a set list or something together live in the game. That would be a fun thing to do.
Okay, so I've got a question about that. So we're leaning into people having a shared experience, like an online multiplayer focus. What plans do you have, Mr. President, for the Switch 2 camera?
The Switch 2 camera. Oh, that's a good idea. I guess maybe you could superimpose your face onto the dancing agents, maybe.
Yes.
If that's something you could do. Or maybe even just make yourself appear randomly in inserts in the background of the stories. It's just random background characters.
So you're the one that the agents are saving.
I'm more thinking of how you see just random people in the background of the cinematics.
Yeah.
Your face is just suddenly. You're a screaming pregnant woman or something.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, just there going when something's going on. All right, yeah, I quite like that. Yes. Josh, you had a question to think about that as well.
I've got a new question that just suddenly came up.
Go.
So, what are we doing art style wise? Because the original was obviously on DS. It used sprites. Everything was 2D, other than the 3D models for the dancers. Like, are we sticking to that for this new one? Is it still going to have the same comic book style, with just higher quality 2D images to represent the story? Or are we going to embrace 3D models and show that for more cinematic story telling?
That is a good question. I think if it was up to me, and I guess it is, and it wasn't, I guess I give you two options, right? If I'm thinking about sort of marketability, I would go with 3D to some extent, right?
Okay.
If I was just, if it was just me, I would go for some sort of cell shaded, really stylized approach where it is 3D, but it almost doesn't look like, it looks like a cartoon. It looks sort of like Spark and Zero or something like that, something, but with real thick outlines, something that
still
apes
looks like a comic.
Exactly, something that apes the 2D style from EBA, but it's in 3D.
Nice.
Cell shade, that type of thing. That could look really awesome. Oh, Hi-Fi Rush. I think that's what I was thinking of. Something like that. Have you seen Hi-Fi Rush? Like, the way that looks in 3D, it looks like a cartoon. But yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
What happened to cell shading? It feels like it's just not around as much anymore. It's such a beautiful style. Like, I always think back to Beautiful Joe and Wind Waker, and people were really down on it, particularly Zelda, because of the sort of reveal and not being super realistic Link. But it feels like it was a real sort of peak style in like early to mid thousands. Do you think it's just out of fashion?
I think there was just a trend to realism that the industry took. Even though, like, in hindsight, a lot of the cell shaded stuff has aged a lot better.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, but I think there is a sort of perception among publishers that it's not as marketable. And I think there could be some truth to that as well. It's like a lot of people look at that stuff and they're like, oh, it's like a cartoon.
Oh, it's cartoony, it's for kids.
Yeah.
Oh, that kills me. Okay, so we've talked about the sort of like being all about a shared experience, all the sort of different modes that you have for that, being able to put yourself in the game. Talked a little bit about the style. Let's drill into the single player stuff. So it's a soft reboot. Are we seeing the same scenarios because EBA wasn't sort of massively popular, or are we seeing them and maybe some sort of tangents that players aren't expecting? Are you seeing what happens in the to be continued, or is it a new story incorporating old elements? What's the kind of vibe with single players? Is it very much the same experience, or how do you sort of see that going?
I mean, you got my mind racing. I haven't really thought this far ahead, but I mean, I quite like the idea of all the scenarios are brand new, but maybe you see one or two characters from the original cast of characters come back, and they're a bit older, which is what they did in Ouendan 2 from Ouendan 1. Like a number of characters, such as the first character you play as, who I think is a student in the first game, he's trying to get a job in the second game. So I like the idea of doing something like that. And the character that a lot of people remember in EBA is the little girl whose dad has passed away.
Yeah.
And it would be, good to reprise that character, and maybe, she is older and she has kids now herself or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
Some
This
sort
is the dad's grave.
Dagger to the
Yeah.
heart. Oh god, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of potential
Not now,
there.
tears.
Yeah, but
Christmas again.
but again, sort of tertiary in the background, that if you haven't played EBA, it doesn't matter. You can still get something out of it.
But it's there for the fans, right?
Yeah. It's like exactly.
I mean,
I've obviously most of the original characters, but maybe a few like those, the more memorable ones come back, and you get another adventure with them. That'd be good.
So, like, just a light spoiler if you're planning to go out and find the game from this chat, but we'll talk about it for 1 minute. So yes, there's the sort of very memorable one that a lot of people talk about is there's one chapter of the game where there's a girl who's lost her dad, right, and you're helping her kind of rediscover the spirit of Christmas, and it's mad that in the middle of this, let's be honest, pretty goofy game, there's a sort of genuine, very heartfelt, actually quite moving story in there.
The tonal whiplash causes it to hit harder, I think, because you're not expecting it.
Yeah, it's absolutely
brilliant. It's a pretty well done story, especially if you get it right at the end.
It is, and like the music pulls back. It's not quite as like heavy with the percussion and stuff, is it? It's much like lighter, the sort of quality of the music. Yeah, it's really well done. I don't think there's anything like that in Ouendan. Is that sort of an EBA thing?
I don't know.
There is a slow, sad song,
right? Okay.
A ballad in each of the games. That was. I spoke to Kichiano, who made the game, who directed it, and he said, it's always his intention for there to be a ballad in there, where things slow down. And he used to be a DJ, like that. This was his reasoning, is like, you got to have a moment in your set where things slow down a little bit, and people dance or whatever. They slow dance. Like, that was his idea, is he compiled the soundtracks like an album, like a compilation.
Yeah, I think you can feel that when you play it as well. Yeah, that's really cool. Yes, we're free from spoilers now, so we can carry on. It's a very light spoiler, and it's a very old game. I mean, I never know how careful we have to be about this. Okay, so that's great. So like a kind of soft reboot come sequel. I suppose well, Josh, do you have any? I always ask, who's the developer going to be? Is usually my final question. But do you have any questions before I pose that to Liam?
No, I can't think of any questions. I think we've sort of really covered a lot of it. So
yeah.
I think I've questioned out.
All right. So who is making this game for you, Liam?
I would just go to Kichiano on my hands and knees and go, sir, here is carte blanche. He's just a bottomless well of money. Do whatever you want. Assemble your team. He knows people. He could make that happen. He's still in game development today.
Yes.
But Innes isn't around, but he could easily. This is the problem. Like, he's trying to make games. He's trying to fund them, and people don't want to. But if I was in charge of Nintendo, you're damn right we're giving him plenty of money to make whatever he wants.
You got Switch money. You get whoever you want for these games. It's all good.
Yeah. It's crazy though. He is a genius, and he's out there. He's tried Kickstarter. He's tried a number of things. Unfortunately, the publishers of this industry just won't go at this man. Nintendo could find this man right now and go, "Hey, would you like to do a new music game and reinvent the music genre for our console?" He'd do it, I'm sure he would, but it's just not happening.
That's very bizarre. I've actually got a question for you regarding that as well, just to pivot back onto the pitch very quickly. So I think, I don't know if it's fair to say that there was a kind of like rhythm games and music games were less prolific then. I don't know if that's entirely true, but you get very regular ones now. You got like the Just Dance series, which obviously has a release every, 2 months, it feels like, but that's around a lot. What would make this stand out? Is it the sort of the concept, or what makes it stand out for you?
Well, I think the concept of a more story-driven rhythm beat game like EBA is really compelling and different from what everyone else is doing. And people forget as well, this is a Nintendo property, and you could quite easily, for instance, this is an idea, we're talking about DLC before. I always felt like there was an opportunity there if you bring in some legacy Nintendo properties, right? And you make those, let's say you take, Jump Up Superstar, or you take...
I was about to say, take them to New Donk City.
If you take... what do you call it? Break Free from Super Mario Odyssey or whatever it's called. Take whatever it's called.
It's Break Free.
It's Breaking Free or Break Free or something like that.
Yeah. Take that and make an EBA stage with Mario and Peach or whatever, right? And do one with Link, whatever, right? You could even you don't even have to have songs from the games. You could do pop songs.
What would be the pop song that you would put with Zelda?
That is a good...
that is tough.
Oh,
time to ask Illuminations what they would do.
Yes, this is true. Yeah,
it's I got it. It's I need a hero. There you go, right there.
That's the choice.
That's a good choice. That is a solid choice right off the bat. That's what we want from a president. Okay, developed by Kichiano, bespoke team. Josh, any final questions for Liam from you?
Yeah, no, I think we've hit upon it there. I think using Nintendo music with DLC is an extra added touch, and thinking about it, Donkey Konga had Nintendo music, so I don't really see why Elite Beat Agents couldn't. Or Jam with a Band had Nintendo music as well. Yeah, they all had Super Mario Brothers, the default theme at some point.
Oh my god, put them in space with Samus, for goodness sake. Get it done before Metroid Prime 4. Bang, get out the door. Elite Beat Agents. Yeah, I like this. Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. President. That's a wonderful pitch. We will summarise at the end. But for now, Josh, you are now the president of Nintendo, but we are still the board, and we still demand that you bring back Elite Beat Agents. So please tell us, how do you plan to do it?
Yes. So when we were talking earlier about games that had the Elite Beat Agents style to them, there was one that I didn't mention that I was aware of.
Up your sleeve, yeah.
And it's a game that people do know. It wasn't one that it wasn't one that did particularly well, I don't think, but it is one that people know, and that's Sonic Chronicles and the Dark Brotherhood on DS. It was a Sonic JRPG made by BioWare, and the battle system used the Elite Beat Agent style movement for its attacks. Yeah.
Oh my god! No idea about that. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and so it shows that you can take this rhythm style, this music style, and use it in different genres. So, I think what we should do is we'll take the Elite Beat Agents, this story-driven rhythm game, and we'll throw in some RPG elements, a bit more emphasis on the story to it. It's going to be a soft reboot of the Elite Beat Agents game. The Romulans, whatever they're called, they're back. They've invaded.
You didn't even remember what they're called. The Romulans.
Romulans. Yes. And instead of going on a wild map and picking whatever mission it is, you are in this city that you can run around. That's been taken over by the aliens and is like having all the music and sound taken from it, and it's causing people distress. And so you can go around and you can fight the Romulans using this power of music.
Nice.
And
Wow.
all of the music and songs and stuff you'll do with the mouse controls. So it'll play like the games usually play, the Osu style. But they'll be maybe a little shorter and a bit more frequent, and then when you get to the big boss battles, that's when you'll get the full actual like songs to go for that are like the main stages, and then you can replay them later on. So we're basically adding in some RPG elements, mechanics, bit more emphasis on a narrative, complete narrative, because that's the thing. Elite Beat Agents is story driven.
It is.
Does have a background narrative, but most of the episodes are separate, with like cameos where one character who shows up here will appear in there. We're going to have an overarching story with recurring characters and supporting characters, but you'll but played like the Osu games.
Great. Okay, I've got a billion questions, but I will let Liam go first. Liam, anything right off the bat for you?
So if it's an RPG and you're having these, I guess, combat encounters where you do the songs, are you choosing songs? As in, are you choosing like attacks or defense? Or how does that work?
Yeah, so you'll have to do the tunes to defend, and when you pick your attacks, you'll get special attacks, you can get support attacks, you can get regular attack specials, using your Elite Beat Agents gadgets, and each one will have a different combination, like a specific rhythm Osu combination to do, and will make a specific song. Something I hadn't mentioned yet, but was going to, is that for the music in this, unlike the previous games, we're going to have our own soundtrack. An original soundtrack that we're going to have, and that's what the songs are going to be based on. It is going to be heavier, a bit more like Ouendan, because we're trying to emphasize the alien invasion stuff.
Right.
So we're going to have a bit more of a harder, not necessarily like a heavy metal or rock type, but it's going to go hard and be a bit more engaging. I'm thinking something like The World Ends With You, or Neo The World Ends With You specifically type of music.
Okay.
So this obviously means that no matter what country it's released in, it's going to be the same music.
Very nice. Yep.
Like, we might, the ones with vocals, we might do a Japanese version and an English version of it. So there's both, and they'll play in those regions, but we're going to have the same soundtrack across all regions. But yeah, it's going to be an original soundtrack. We might get a popular band in, or we might just get in-house musicians to do it. I'm trying to remember Guitaru Man, which was the previous series that Kiichi Yano made. I believe that had an original soundtrack, but made by a popular Japanese band whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head now. Coil, I think it was.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that. We're gonna get
that's cool.
Semi-popular band in Japan and get them to make the music for us.
Okay. All right, I like this. I've got to drill into the RPG stuff, because that is a huge departure, right? So we've got... now, I think Nintendo already have a very good example of taking a genre you wouldn't necessarily associate with an RPG and making it a pre-boss RPG in Ring Fit Adventure. Great job. They can do it. They know how to do it. But, Elite Beat Agents is very episodic in nature. So... is there, are we talking, is there an overworld, or is it episodes? How do you level up? What does that look like? Is there a skill tree? How do the sort of RPG mechanics fit in, and what's the journey through the game using those?
So you won't level up. You'll get, the further into the game, you'll get the aliens, when you defeat them, will drop some mystical space thing that you then take back to the Elite Beat Agents headquarters and give to the commander, and then Commander Khan, and then they'll give it to the R&D department and make new gadgets, and new gadgets will give you new ways to do attacks, apply status effects, do support stuff, and each one of those comes equipped with a different rhythm thing. And what you can do is there's a difficulty level on it. Right? Between 1 to 5.
Yep.
And so 1 is the easiest, and that'll be the easiest. That'll be like a tap, tap, drag, tap, tap. But if you go to 5, then suddenly you'll be tap, tap, spin, drag, spin like this. And it's the same effect, but it's stronger. So if you're say you have like a healing salve that you want to put on, you got a healing blaster, you shoot your friend and heal him up, another agent.
Yep.
Then the easy one will do like 10 HP heal, but the strongest one will do 50.
Okay.
And so you're emphasized on like what level, how difficult should I make this combination of rhythm movements for myself? How confident do I feel doing this? Do I go for the max benefit, but it's going to be way harder for me? Or do I go for the easier options?
So are you saying like once you get these power-ups, you can revisit places that you've been to as well, and that like unlocks further paths? Or is it quite a linear progression?
No, so like I said, it is chapter based, so each chapter will have a story, but it's not like a world map type deal like Elite Beat Agents is.
Okay.
It's like an explorable city world with like, hills and stuff on the outside. I'm trying to remember what the world of Elite Beat Agents looks like, but just imagine the map from that, but you can actually run around.
Okay.
It was just a globe.
Explore.
It was just like a.
Was it just the globe?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of Ouendan.
Maybe a bit more in depth than that. Yeah.
Maybe a
bit more world building. Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of Ouendan 2's world map, where it's just like a city and you can see. Yeah. So it'd be something like that. It's all taking place within the same city location that you're running around and helping people in.
Okay.
And getting into encounters against the aliens and going to these areas where we're going to use color, where the place that's lost its sound basically is all like grayscale.
Right.
And is way more like depressing looking than the place that still has sound and music and good vibes going.
I like that.
And you're restoring the good vibes to each area.
Do you know what that reminds me of? De Blob. Do you ever play De Blob?
Me too.
Yes.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
But conceptually, it was brilliant. You go into these areas, everything's grey, all the characters are ooh, and then as you hit things with the paint, it does breathe that life into it, and you really feel that change. I loved De Blob. We've got to do De Blob on this, but yes. So yeah, I really like that as a concept. Any more questions, Liam, from you for that?
I was going to say, I mean, you mentioned De Blob. De Blob had this great like adaptive soundtrack to it, where the more you painted in the world, the more the music built up and it became jazzier and more exciting. That would be cool in your concept. Would you have voice acting if you're doing story approach and that type of thing?
Ooh. I think we would, because the original had like little bits of voice acting, right? Like Commander Khan said, "Go," and like the character said one lines here and there. So I think we'd do that thing where key scenes, the actual animated cutscenes, they have voice acting, but if you're just talking to someone on the street, then it's just dialogue without the voice acting. And then for the actual scenario boss battles that you would do, we'd have to sort of pick and choose, because we wouldn't want the voice acting to go over the music and interrupt it, right? So maybe when there's no gameplay going on and it's just a cutscene, there might be the occasional line here or there, but nothing that would go over the actual music playing.
Yeah, you want to keep the gameplay the focus, right? Yeah.
So yes, there will be voice acting to an extent. That's my answer.
Okay. What about multiplayer? Because we've had a very multiplayer focused pitch. So what's the deal with this one?
True. The main focus is going to be single player, but like the bosses, once you've beaten the boss, they said you can go back and replay them, right? That is effectively just like regular Ouendan, where you can just go and do it and try and get the high score. And in those cases, you can do that one in multiplayer and compete locally. And I guess we can do online as well, because everything's got online nowadays. I see no reason why you can't. At the very least, you can do it and put it onto a leaderboard. Yeah, you can see like the best people on that and download ghost data and copy that, because the other games had that. Ouendan 2 had something like that, so I don't see why not.
Nice. Okay, Liam, any more questions?
I don't think so. That sounds pretty cool, though. Honestly, whether it was to be a part of EBA or not, it sounds like quite a cool concept in of itself for an original IP or something like that. I don't really know of a game like that, a music-based sort of turn-based RPG type thing like that.
Yeah, you have examples, I guess, of like rhythm and stuff influence. I mean, even in sort of Mario RPGs, you have like rhythm-based things influencing the fight. But I think to make it like fully, weirdly, I think another thing I'm sort of equating it to almost is kind of Sin and Punishment. And I know it's not that, but, Sin and Punishment is so much about placement of your attacks and stuff, right? When you're playing the game, about hitting those points either with the sort of sword or the gun. But are you sort of imagining it anything like that, Josh? Or is it very much the kind of like core rhythm gameplay layered on top of this boss fight with a bit of strategy?
It's like the core rhythm gameplay thing. I think a difference between the boss battles and like the regular battles is that you'd have your attacks where you do the thing, but then when you hit, have you played Mario and Luigi Brothership, the new one?
I don't own it, but I've played it. Yes.
So the Luigi moments where he gets an idea and then when you trigger it sets off a huge cutscene of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll get things like that where you hit key points in the battle where it will then trigger like just a big cinematic that you then play the music to.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
All right.
That is like a separate, unique challenge just for that boss battle.
Okay.
I guess the question I have is, if this is, and I'm assuming turn-based against a computer, right? What does the computer's turn look like?
Ooh, that's
Are they
a great
doing
question.
a mini game, or like what? How does that?
You would do a mini game to defend or like dodge. Like they'd be mainly like defending against it. So they would attack, and it would come up in the same way. And depending, each enemy would have a set number of attack patterns that could show up in the rhythm.
Right.
So you don't know. I mean, maybe something you can like an ability you can get to learn, or like some games that you see like what the certain enemies are weak to and what they're strong at using and stuff like that. You can see like when you've fought enough enemy more, you can see what their rhythm patterns are for their attacks.
This enemy
so
can't handle
be more prepared
jazz.
for them.
Yeah. bring in the trumpets. Oh, that would be so good. So this is a major departure, Josh. So you've got to nail the developer who is developing this game for you, because you've got to land it.
So I think I definitely want Kichi Yano back doing this. I think he's got to be there, right, and helping the lead. But because we got that extra effort needed to put into this game. And Nintendo, I'm president of Nintendo. I can tell people what they should do, what the developers should do. I'm going to pull intelligent systems into support.
Ooh, you love a bit of intelligent systems, Josh.
They've got a good. They've made strategy RPGs, regular RPGs, puzzle games, music games. They're the ones who make the Jam with the Band games, or at least after the first one they did.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
WarioWare.
I was thinking this sounds like an intelligent systems game. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Kichiano comes in, can bring whoever he wants with him.
Yeah.
And then intelligent system can support with like the bulk of the actual development.
Nice. And did we talk about art style or not? Because again, RPGs can be very different art styles. So did we touch on that? I can't remember.
We didn't touch on that, but I was thinking a cell shaded. It would be in 3D. Nice. I think for some like key cutscenes we'll have a fake comic book style where like the outside of the panels appear, but the actual image itself is still 3D. Maybe when they do their like climactic finishing attack, and it like like how Persona has their climactic attacks, and then the 3D character transitions into a 2D image.
Yeah, nice.
We'll have something like that where the border of the comic appears and it becomes like a 2D image for key impact frame, basically.
There's so much scope to play with stuff like that as well, isn't there? There's I never remember the name of it. Comic Zone, I think, kind of a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Yeah, which. Is a game that I really enjoy. It has its flaws, but I really love the kind of like smashing enemies through panels and finding hidden areas through them and stuff. I think there's sort of the comic book, basically comic books in that sense in games. There's a lot to explore that hasn't really been touched. So yes, I really like that. Any more questions from you, Liam, for Josh?
Would you have the Ouendan make an appearance at all?
I think so. I think we've got a pretty big scope for a game, so I think you would definitely got to have the female agents in there.
I was going to ask, are the Elite Beat Divas back? Yeah,
I think because this is an RPG, you could have like a party system, right? So you have a party of just 3, and you start with the main 3 Elite Beat agents, and then you can unlock the divas. Excellent. And then you can hot swap which one. Who's in it. So it doesn't have to be the 3 divas and all the 3 agents. You can have one of the divas and 2 of the agents, or stuff. Or Commander Khan can be unlocked by doing like a really hard side quest towards the end.
Nice. Derek, is Derek coming back?
Sure, we can have Derek back, and Morris.
And Morris.
Yeah, we can have them both there.
Excellent. Okay, all right. Well, that's a very solid, a very different and very solid pitch. We're low on time, so I'm going to very quickly throw my pitch in with a couple of questions from the board. So, yes, I never got to experience the Ouendan games, which makes me very sad. And I do think it's been a very long time since the games have come out. So, I am doing a sequel, and it is a mouse-based rhythm game. I think we all like the idea of having something tactile, right, to play that with. But my one is a straight sequel to all 3 games, and it's a crossover title. So it's Elite Beat Agents, Cross or whatever it is, versus Ouendan. And basically, the Romulans are back. They're wreaking havoc, but this time it's global havoc. And so the Elite Beat Agents, the Ouendan they've basically made a sort of cheering branch in the government of Japan. So it's about Japan and the Americans, sort of their agents, their government agencies coming together, fighting off this threat. It's the art style is very much comic strip. You still have the comic strip stories. I don't know how far into maybe it's 20 years in the future, so maybe you've got the kind of older agents and they're training up the kind of young blood, and it's Agent J.
Agents can just be ageless, to be honest. I mean,
but I love the idea of like a grizzled Agent J just being like, those damn Romulans are back, sort of like just granite jaw and stuff. So yeah, they're training up these new agents. It's contemporary songs. There is DLC like to push it forward. Free DLC for a year. I'm not an evil president. But you get more chapters as the game releases. It can live on for years in that respect. Every year or so they can drop a new sort of mini campaign because it's just 3 or 4 massive pop songs at the time. And that's really it. The people that want to make it are the people that make Crypt of the Necrodancer and Rift of the Necrodancer, Brace Yourself Games. I think they're a young, emergent indie studio. They do rhythm stuff very well. I'd love to see them have a pop at it. I think their art style is very nice. And, they've have experience, obviously, with a Nintendo property. They tackled Zelda, for goodness sake. I think they can handle the Elite Beat Agents. So, yeah, that's it. Just a sort of a full sequel, a crossover sequel to the DS games, which expands on that to be continued. We're going to see the end of the Romulans in this game. And it takes the kind of... Maybe you've got that kind of dynamic where, they end on a sort of more heavy rock and they're sort of more poppy and they're not quite getting along. But then you get a kind of like... I mean, I am not a fan of Glee, but I'm aware that they did a lot of mashup songs, right, where they took songs in different styles and kind of squashed them together. I quite like the idea of doing that for this, them combining their styles to finally push the Romulans back. Yeah, that's it. That's my pitch. We have time for one question from each board member.
So gameplay is, just to make this clear, the exact same as the previous ones, but with mouse control.
The same. It is literally clicking the mouse here and there. I would want to have the stylus option for docked as well. No buttons. It is clicking or tapping. And I think we can throw in, the game has to develop as well. So, we've got tap and drag and spin in the previous games. I mean, saying that, I don't know what else you could do, really. There's not... Yeah.
Trying to think of all the rhythm games I've played, like a sort of weird slide.
What else is there?
You take advantage of having 2 mice.
This is true. This is true. I like this.
2 mouse to work with.
Oh, yeah. So maybe there is... Yeah, maybe if you're playing in docked mode, there's like, a sort of different path you can take that has the mice. This is going to be available
the touchscreen
on Switch 1
up to 10
and Switch
inputs,
2. No, it doesn't. That's absolutely
it does.
mad.
Welcome Tour says it does. So
incredible.
I believe Welcome Tour.
Dual stylus, dual mice. It's a first. It's happening. Yes, that's happening with this game. Any questions from you, Liam?
Have you thought about any of the songs you would include in it?
I am an old man that doesn't listen to the radio, so I can't pitch anything good for this. I will happily accept recommendations from the two of you, but I think
you're the president. You can decide your own music for it.
I think I'll just embarrass myself.
What's your favourite song?
I had an angry run this morning, and I was listening to Linkin Park, and I was thinking, man, Linkin Park are really good. So maybe Linkin Park's going to be in there, but that's pretty bad. I think you've probably got to have a Taylor Swift song. I mean, pretty much the only song I know is Shake It Off. It's probably got to be in there, I would imagine. I mean, Beyonce, if she was in the old one, and she's going to make it to the new one as well. So she's made it to both, and you've made it when you're in both Elite Beat Agent entries. So Beyonce can rest easy now. She's going to be in both. I literally don't know anybody. I mean, Sabrina Carpenter, I feel like she's quite famous at the moment. I don't know, Liam. You've shown the president up.
I just had a random thought. I think one of the problems with this series is sort of the marketability of the characters and the concept. And maybe what you do is you just take this gameplay, and we're talking about what songs are popular at the minute, right? Take the gameplay, the format of the gameplay, everything, and then just add on K-pop Demon Hunters. Just the songs, the characters.
You got it.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. A licensed game.
Cross K-pop Demon Hunters. I mean, if we could get that for DLC, that would be absolutely, it would fly off the shelves. So yes, that's in the pipeline. You're a good board member. Well done. But that's all that we have time for this week. So there you have it. 3 pitches to bring back the Elite Beat agents. But do you like Liam's Ouendan-leaning rock music focused title with no traditional button inputs but with both mouse and stylus options? This Elite Beat agents soft reboot come sequel is all about sharing the experience, featuring song creation, shareable beat maps, DLC and an online multiplayer focus, with the new entry being developed by Kichi Yano and a bespoke team. Or do you like Josh's Sonic Chronicles inspired RPG about a reboot of the original title that pits the agents once again against the Romulans? Story driven in nature, this mouse controlled rhythm game has boss battles, an original soundtrack, explorable overworld map, cutscenes, and is also developed by Kichiyana and Intelligent Systems this time. Or do you like my crossover title, Elite Beat Agents Cross Ostata Kai Ouendan? Utilising mouse controls and the stylus options in this classic rhythm game, which brings back the stylus visuals of its predecessors and is developed by Brace Yourself Games. Or do you have a better idea yourself? Let us know in the comments below. While you're there, please do like and subscribe. It will help us to grow. You can find us all over on Bluesky, and you can join our Patreon to join in our live records every month and see bloopers of the show. There are lots of them. But for now, Liam, thank you very much for joining us this week. I hope you've enjoyed your NintenDormant debut.
I have. It was very fun. Yeah.
Good. I look forward to all of these games existing. Please, just bring back the Elite Beat Agents, please. Josh, our resident guest, thank you very much for joining us this week as well.
Yep, it was a pleasure. I do like this series. I probably should have played a bit more of it ahead of that quiz, but
maybe just a bit.
Try to refresh my memory after nearly 2 decades of not touching it. But
12 to 1's not great, but I think John's been there as well, so it's all good. Enjoy Gamescom. I look forward to hearing all about your adventures. We'll be doing a live record next week, so I'm looking forward to that too. Thank you all very much for listening, but for now, that's game over. Goodbye.